The floor is lava!
You're not getting past me.
Protector of childhoods, Boo-Boo! Ferocious block! Soccer! Or football, as I'm going to be referring to it, because I'm this kind of American, not this kind of American. Not to mention the majority of the world who actually cares about this sport calls it football. Sorry, Japan. Now, despite this pretty energetic intro on the subject, and the fact that I've grown up in what feels like the football capital of the world, I've never been the biggest fan of the sport. You know what can change that, though? Anime! And change that it did, because when I was about 8 years old, I discovered a little series called Inazuma 11, and I was enthralled. Except it wasn't really the first time, because apparently when I was younger, I loved watching another series called Oliver Benji, or for those outside of the Hispanic sphere of influence, Captain Tsubasa. The only problem is that I was so young that I have absolutely no recollection of this. In fact, my tata, someone who's kind of like my godmother but not really because I had already been baptized so my family came up with this title, had to tell me about it, getting part of the theme song forever stuck in my head. Onto the show I actually remember, Inazuma 11. When I was in the 3rd grade, I came home from school and after not doing my homework because that's for losers, I started watching TV and it was just there. I know, it's kind of an anticlimactic reveal. But this show really made me fall in love with football. And I wasn't the only one. Many classmates and friends of mine were also infected with this football fervor. I mean those that weren't already on the football team, of course. But they welcomed us with open arms. We started playing around a lot and pretending to use the special techniques from the show. It was a blast. For those who don't know, it's essentially football with superpowers. The show follows Mark Evans, a student at Raimon Academy who loves football so much that after years of there being no football club in his school, he restarts it. Now, at the beginning of the show, he doesn't even have enough players to even call it a team. But still, he trains every day, catching his swinging tire, playing with the younger kids, or in any other way he can while doing his best to gather people from around his school to make Raimon into a proper team. It was this level of passion that got me to go beyond simply playing around during the break to actually join the school's football team. Now, I wasn't the most serious player, only invited to 1 or 2 games, but it was fun nonetheless. While I really wanted to be a goalie like Mark, after seeing Sean Frost, one of my favorite characters along with Axel and Mark, I decided to try playing defense. Since we already had a great goalie, it was a position I could easily partake in, and being tall really helped out. But one moment that really changed my life was when I tagged along on my dad's weekly grocery trip. For it was during this trip that I saw it. They made a game out of Inazuma 11! Now, any fans of Inazuma 11 will already know that this series was based on a video game made by Level 5, but I had no idea. I could hardly contain my excitement at this discovery, so with the money I stole from my parents, watch the previous video, I bought the game. And once I arrived home, started playing immediately. However, with this great discovery also came one of the moments I most deeply regret in my life. I feel like you're going to need some context, so here it is. The day I bought the game was also one where my mother, who worked so hard to provide for our family, had promised to take time out of her so busy schedule and spend the afternoon with me. But before that, she had to clean up after lunch. So excited to play Inazuma 11, I asked her to come get me once she was done and proceed to my room. I enjoyed the crap out of that game, reliving what I had seen in the anime. That is, until I reached the 2nd level. You see, in the 2nd level, you face off against Team Occult, and because of the story, you have to score in a specific order. You have to shoot first with Axel, at which point the shot would be blocked, then with Kevin, where he would score, Kevin again, where he would be blocked, and lastly with Kevin, who would do a combo move with Axel to score. Now, despite having seen the anime and knowing these to be canon events, I did not think of doing that. So the timer would run out without me being able to score, and because I never thought of saving before the match, I'd be sent to the beginning of the level, at which point I'd have to redo the whole story. But as the old adage goes, third time's the charm, because after a few hours I saw the art at the back of the box and remembered the show, so I managed to beat the team. Feeling that some time had passed, I went to call my mother to spend the day with her, only to be told that it was too late in the day to do anything. I had spent about 5 hours trying to beat this level. Apparently, she had called me, but seeing as our house at the time had 2 floors, I did not manage to hear her from the floor below. Hence, she decided to go about her day until I was ready. Which was too late, for at around 7 PM, we didn't have time for much. I think we ended up watching a movie, but I don't remember much about that. I just remember this as a very tragic moment in my life, one of the moments I regret the most. But despite this, I never stopped playing the game, which allowed it to bring me some great moments that balanced out the regret it brought me. As the sequel allowed me to bond with Elric, the kid from the Weird Kid video, as we both enjoyed this football series. Coincidentally, while I had Firestorm, he had Blizzard, so we managed to unlock the DLC content, even trading some of the version exclusive players. I was maxing out so much of the game's content that I gave him a level 79 character while I got a level 17 one to train up. It was our agreement to trade them back to each other after a week, but when the time came, we found out that we couldn't do that, as there was a maximum of 1 of each character you could have. So instead we face each other, and he beat me. Using the player I had leveled up. You see, when his character approached my goal, I decided to use one of my weaker techniques to stop him. Because I'm level 99 after all, my technique should be able to stop it no problem. It didn't. But he told everyone that I had let him win, when in fact, I did not. I had just severely underestimated him. But I let him believe that. Eventually, I put the game down, not really bothering with the 3rd installment in the franchise after putting more than 200 hours into the last one. I simply enjoyed the story in anime form. But just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in with the sequel series. This came a few years after I stopped playing the last game, but seeing the story continue as the characters I had grown to love became the mentors to a new generation really got me excited to play again. It's as if they had grown up along with me. They had new gimmicks like avatars, basically football stands, which added a new fresh gameplay mechanic to make it enjoyable again. With the second game in the series once again acting as the kindling to the fire of friendship, it allowed me to bond with my best friend Fabian when we barely knew each other, who also beat my ass at this game. I just can't seem to win. But this time, it wasn't my overconfidence to play. I mean, this guy is kind of the world champion. Or well, he would be if the second tournament had been official.
You had to rub it in, didn't you?
It's my vengeance. After his last visit, he really got me back into the games, which is the whole reason why I'm making this video in the first place. So, I'm training up a few of my favorite characters to try and beat him next time we meet. Plus, it just feels so nostalgic. And maybe I'll be able to claim the title of world champion.
Wake up! Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
You had us worried there.
Did we win?
Sadly, Team Like and Subscribe did not make it. But we'll get them in the next video.
That one's going to be great. Everyone should watch it.
I agree, but we should hit the lockers. After all, it's over.